everyone, it's Sue from SMB Jewelry Designs. Hope you're having a great day. I just want to welcome everybody back. Anybody that's a new viewer, welcome to my channel. Anybody that's an old viewer or has tuned in before, welcome back. On this channel we talk about a lot of things to do with rocks. It could be anything and everything. It could be what I've just recently worked on or something that I'm planning on using into a jewelry piece, what have you. In our last video we talked about polishing rocks. I had gone through the 3 stages of grit and was on to the polishing stage. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, is looking at the stones after they've been polished. Before we get into that, I just want to share a couple of things that I've done this week that I thought you might find interesting. So today, myself and my daughters went to the Herkimer Diamond mines. I live in central New York, and I'm just a few miles from Herkimer, and that is where the Herkimer Diamond mines are located. For any of you that don't know, the Herkimer Diamond mines are actually not diamonds. They are very clear quartz, some of the best quartz in the world, and people come from everywhere to look for it. What we looked for today was the stuff that's open to the general public, and not everything that's open to the general public is something that you're actually going to find a Herkimer Diamond in. This is an example of something that we found today while we were mining. It's out in the open. It was very, very warm, so we didn't stay for very long. But we did look for some interesting pieces and brought some back that I'll be breaking open later this week, that I'll share with you once I've done that. That's an example of one piece. We brought home lots and lots, so I'm not going to go through them all with you right now. These are wet because I have them soaking. They were quite dirty because they're coming from a mine. They do commercial mining there, and we're not allowed to go into the commercial mining area. So what we find is generally not as wonderful as some of the stuff that they find in the commercial mine. But it's fun nevertheless, and it's interesting to see how they're mined. So I thought I would share that with you quickly. Alright, not to take any further time, I also wanted to share with you something that I had recently purchased at Hobby Lobby. It was in the kids craft section, and they're break your own geodes, and if you've never tried them before, I encourage you to check them out. This was actually a very interesting geode. I was extremely pleased with this one when we broke it in half. There's a massive amount of crystals inside there. So just to give you a thought about, looking for geodes, Hobby Lobby has some really, really good ones. So that's something that you can find there. And also, before I get on to polishing, or the polishing unveiling, I wanted to show you a few pieces that I've recently polished by hand with a Dremel. And I am trying to maneuver my, camera to give you the best lighting. So I'm sorry if I made you dizzy, and I'm sorry that this is so crumpled looking. But this is something that I recently worked on. It's blue quartz. And I had tumbled it through the tumbler several times. And then I hand polished it with some cerium oxide and water and a Dremel felt tip bit. So it didn't take a hugely high polish, but there is some polish there. And I was happy with the results. This is a piece of sodalite that took the polish very nicely. So you can see that really high polish. And again, that was just with the Dremel. Trying to get it into the light there so you can see that nice blue polish on that sodalite. That was really fun. I have a few other odds and ends in here. This was a piece of crocodile jasper that I had tumbled a few times in the tumbler and then did a hand polishing on. So there's a little bit of a sheen there. Not terribly bad. Alright, well, enough of that. I'll get these out of the way. And we'll move on to what we're all here to see, which is the results of the polishing that I did. So This is my tumbling bin, or the tumbler, I should say. The stones are sitting in here. They finished polishing a couple of days ago. I only had them polishing with the polishing grit from National Geographic. I only had them in there for about, I think it was 3 days that I ended up polishing them for. And these can be, covers can be kind of tough to get off. Of course, when you want things to go well, they don't. Okay. So I haven't opened this up at all. This is my first time opening it since it stopped tumbling. I don't know what to expect in here. They may have to go back through another polish, but we'll see. So like before, I'm going to use my strainer, pour the polishing compound out, and pour all the rocks out with it. Let them drain through the sieve here. And zoom out just a little bit so you can see this a little better. Okay. Alright, now I'm just going to rinse them really quickly. This is just regular tap water. Rinsing them to get the polishing residue off them so we can have a better look at how they did in the polish. Let me get this out of the way. Alright, let's get this crumpled tea towel back out and have a look at what we've got here. Okay, I'm going to get a little closer so you guys can see this a little bit better. Alright, so they look really awesome right now. It's because they're all shiny and wet and beautiful. But what we're looking for is after they're dry, to see if they have that polish that we're looking for, that nice sheen to them. You can see this amethyst, whoops, it helps if I'm in frame, sorry about that. Amethyst here has a little bit of a polish starting. It is still a little damp, but for the most part it's dry. And you can see there's just the slightest hint of polish starting on that one. So that one has a ways to go yet. Amethyst is one of the harder minerals, obviously, so that one's going to take a little while. This one is rose quartz. And it has a little bit of a polish, but again, we're looking for that really high gloss polish. And sometimes, like I said, it can take a little bit of time to do that, but that's why I wanted to share this adventure with everybody, so you could see that not everything happens overnight. So very little polish on most of these at the moment, which is a little disappointing, but again, I'm not really terribly surprised. I'll just reuse the polishing liquid that I just poured out. This one's got a little bit of a polish starting on it. I think this is a jasper of some sort. There's so many jaspers that I start to lose track of what they are, but this could be desert jasper, I'm not sure. If you know, absolutely leave me a comment. What else do we think might have gone through a little bit of a better polish? I have a big piece of ametrine here. For those of you that are new, ametrine is amethyst that's mixed with citrine. You can see the little bit of citrine right here. But no polish on that one yet. So it's back off to the tumbler with most of these, excuse me, to get a little bit better polish on them. It can take up to 7 to 10 days to get a really good polish. This one's getting there. It's much smoother and prettier than it was the last time I looked at it. But it's got a little ways to go. And that's going to be probably true of all of these in here. Again, this amethyst has got a little bit of a polish starting. Nothing super high gloss like I would expect to see. And again, I'm testing out my tumbler because I want to know what it's capable of so that I can share the results with all of you. This is a piece of moss agate, and it's got a little bit of a shine coming around on it. We have some other pieces of jasper. And this jasper is looking a little bit better, but again, I know that that polish can be so much prettier. So yeah, again, like I said, a little disappointing, but nevertheless, it's a learning experience. And I wanted to share it with you so that you wouldn't hopefully make the same mistakes as I'm making, and you can learn from what I'm doing and create yours a lot faster. I will share that most of these have been polished, or I keep saying polished, and I apologize. They've been put through the tumbler several times in an effort to get them as smooth as possible before I put them into the polishing compound. So that's why so many of them look so smooth, is because they have been tumbled quite a few times. And they will continue to be put through the polish until they have the sheen that I'm looking for. This one is still wet, which is why it looks really shiny, but this is a piece of green jasper. I'm sorry, I keep wandering off camera. My camera is really close, so I'm looking and trying to look in the lens at the same time. So yeah, this is another piece of desert jasper. It's really, really, really pretty. I can't wait to see what that looks like all polished up. So that's what we'll be doing, putting them back through the polish, getting another go at them, probably another 3 days, and we'll see what happens from there. I want to thank you all for tuning in and checking out my channel. Leave a like if you liked the content, if you'd like to see something different. If you'd like me to talk a little bit more about some of the rocks that I have, I'd be happy to do so. Oh, and I did want to share that while we were at the Herkimer Diamond mines, we did go into the store, and they had a lot of mineral samples that you could buy. And some of those samples were, a lot of them were calcite, which is fine with me because I love calcite. But there was a lot of other interesting samples in there as well. So we'll be doing some identification to try to figure out what some of those rocks are. So look forward to sharing that with you guys coming up in the next week or so. I hope everybody has a fantastic day. Stay well. Take care of each other. Until next time, thanks for watching. Bye.